Welcome to this presentation on IGCSE ESL Report Writing. In this session, I will provide an overview of report writing, focusing on key areas such as language, organization, and the essential features needed to produce an effective and well-structured report.
First, let's review the overview of report writing. The purpose of a report is to present information and suggestions to the reader. Reports are a mixture of facts and opinions. The audience of the report is often someone in charge or a teacher, so the language and tone should be formal. A report may also include headings to improve organization and clarity. A report is written to a superior, such as head teacher, organizers of an event, or manager of a shopping center. It is also written to a group, like the book club. A report presents factual information about a specific event, experience, or situation, and provides suggestions, recommendations, and possible solutions to address the issue effectively. Now, let's discuss the language required for writing a report. Think about the audience that the report is for. The tone of the report should be impersonal and relatively formal. Your report should also be informative. You can use the ideas in the speech bubbles, but you must paraphrase them and not simply copy. You can also use your own ideas, but they must be relevant to the situation and task. Use reported speech rather than direct speech. For example, most students said they would have liked to take part in more activities. Use passive voice. No food had been provided. We were given plenty of information. The seats were damaged. There should be no exaggeration or emotive language, no slang words or phrases, no humor because the topics are of serious nature and factual. Include a range of topic-related vocabulary. Use correct spelling, punctuation, and grammar.
Now, let's have a closer look at organization.
A report should be well organized and clear. There must be a title for your report. The title is your first contact with the reader. Use appropriate subheadings to inform the reader about what they are about to read. Each paragraph should cover a different aspect of the report. Link your ideas using cohesive devices which suit a formal type of writing. A report often follows a 3- or 4-part structure.
The standard report format is as follows: title and subheadings, introduction, findings, positive and/or negative aspects, conclusion.
Now let's discuss how to organize a report.
There must be a title for your report. The title is your first contact with the reader and should inform them about what they are about to read. Use appropriate subheadings. Introduction. Begin by stating the purpose of your report. The introduction should explain the general ideas to come, as well as your thesis statement, which tells the reader what to expect from the rest of the report. You can also add how you collected the information, for example, from a survey. Here we have some useful phrases for introduction. The aim, or purpose, or objective, or intention is to outline or discuss or evaluate. The aim of this report is to highlight what we learned from the trip. The report aims to highlight or investigate. This report purports to highlight. This report aims to present what we learned from the trip. The main aim of this report is to provide information about. The purpose of this report is to provide an account of our visit. This report evaluates the current condition of the computer lab. This report outlines the issues raised by traffic congestion.
Here we have some more useful phrases for introduction. It is based on the survey. It is based on my observations. It is based on the feedback from. It is based on an interview. To prepare this report, I conducted interviews with. To prepare this report, I visited 3 of the most popular. To prepare this report, I discussed the issue with.
Body 1, or positive aspects.
This section provides the positive things you and other people have noticed. It provides details of the situation with evidence and examples. It is used to clearly explain and underpin main ideas.
Here we have some phrases for positive sides. Phrases to introduce points. Firstly, first of all, in the first place, to begin with, first and foremost, etc. Addition phrases, moreover, furthermore, besides that, in addition, additionally, another aspect to consider, apart from that, on top of that, etc.
Here we have some more phrases for positive sides. Many students were captivated to see. It was fascinating to see. Most of the students agreed that. We all got insight into the importance of. We managed to study fascinating facts about. The vast majority of students were stunned as they discovered. The feedback from the students was positive. Majority of the students agreed that. The majority of the people surveyed thought that.
Here we have some phrases to change I and we into passive. It is or was believed that. It is or was noticed that. It is or was suggested that. It is or was reported that. It is or was observed that. It is or was found that. It is or was claimed that.
Body 2, or negative aspects. This section provides the negative things you and other people have noticed. It provides details of the situation with evidence and examples. It is used to clearly explain and underpin main ideas.
Here we have some phrases for negative sides, phrases for contrast. However, many people felt that it was, notwithstanding the boons, it was totally saddening to see that, nevertheless, a large number of students found that the trip was a bit haphazard, despite or in spite of its academic benefits. On the contrary, on the other hand, here we have some more phrases for negative sides. To express thoughts and opinion. Many students complained that, some students suggested that, many students mentioned that. Addition phrases. Moreover, furthermore, besides that, in addition, additionally, another aspect to consider, apart from that, on top of that, etc.
Conclusion. This should include a brief summary and your recommendations, solutions, or suggestions. Summarize the main findings or the root cause of the problem you investigated in one clear sentence. Do not just copy and paste points from your body paragraphs. Combine them into a single cohesive thought. Give a practical, direct suggestion to solve the main problems.
Here we have some phrases for conclusion. To sum up. In conclusion, to conclude, on balance, on the whole, overall, all things considered, taking everything into account, taking everything into consideration, taking all the factors mentioned into account.
Here we have some opinion phrases. In my opinion, I believe that, I strongly believe that, it is my unwavering credence that, I vehemently believe that, it is my strong contention that, as far as I am concerned. Here we have some phrases for recommendation. I would like to suggest that. Taking all the factors mentioned into account, I would recommend. I would therefore recommend. For the reasons I have mentioned, I highly recommend visiting. A solution to this issue might be, I recommend extending the duration of the visit. I would suggest purchasing more computers. It would be a great idea if we purchased more computers. It would have been a great blessing for students if the tour guide had given enough of information. In the light of what we observed from the visit, I would suggest. Here, we have a sample question. Your class recently went on a field trip to a nature reserve. Your teacher has now asked you to write a report about what you learned from the trip
and suggest what improvements can be made. Here are some comments from other students. I learned so much about animal behavior from the trip. I was fascinated to see the strange feeding habits of pandas. People should not be allowed to take food and beverage containers inside the reserve. There were so many people. Write a report for your teacher. The comments above may give you some ideas, and you can also use some ideas of your own. Your report should be between 120 and 160 words long. You will receive up to 6 marks for the content of your report and up to 9 marks for the language used.
Here we have a sample introduction. Trip to the Bordeaux Nature Reserve. Introduction. This report is intended to outline a recent trip to the Bordeaux Nature Reserve. It highlights what was learned by the students and suggests how the experience can be improved next year. It is based on a survey conducted among my classmates. Here we have a sample of Body 1, or positive sides of the report. Positive aspects. To begin with, the journey to the nature reserve was tranquil, and we arrived just as scheduled. In spite of the crowd of people there, we managed to study fascinating facts about some rare animals' behavior and other thought-provoking knowledge about their natural habitat. Apart from this, the vast majority of the students were stunned as they discovered the peculiar feeding habits of pandas. We all profoundly agreed that the trip will be a big boon for our biology lessons.
Now we have a sample of Body 2, or negative aspects of the report. Negative aspects. Despite the academic advantages, the students found the trip a bit haphazard. For one thing, the number of visitors and their voices at the nature reserve were utterly disturbing. Moreover, it is simply senseless to let outsiders take food items inside the sanctuary. Many students complained that the presence of plastic containers and waste materials were quite disturbing.
Finally, we have a sample conclusion. Conclusion. On the whole, as far as I am concerned, the trip was a great benefit for our class as we were able to gain some first-hand knowledge about the rare animals and their feeding habits. However, I would suggest that advance booking should be made exclusively for us on the next trip to reduce the distractions. In addition, it is high time to consider enacting strict policies for the visitors.
I hope this session provided valuable insights into mastering the concept of report writing.
Thank you for joining this tutorial.